I know it's crazy name. Don't try to think about it
You have
heavy.
two
That's why
first
I just go
names.
by. I have my whole name is a bunch of first names.
Welcome to Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories, a podcast that shines a light on ordinary people and their extraordinary stories. From small towns to big cities, we're sharing the real, raw, and inspiring moments that connect us all. Because every voice matters, every story counts. This is Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories. Welcome back, Joes, to another episode. Today I've got a special treat for you. I have a new friend, and I just met this new friend, and he was kind enough to give up some of his time to come on here and talk to us, give us a little background and some insider info, if you will. Please, everybody give a warm welcome to Leyland Patrick. Leyland, or otherwise known as LP the Bounce.
Yeah. How we doing, guys? All good. All
Good,
good.
good, yeah. Hey, man, thank you again for taking the time to come and do this. This is really cool.
Of course, this is actually my first podcast ever that I'm doing. So thank
Very
you.
cool.
Thank you.
Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate it, and I'm honored to have you.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
So I met Leland. It's so weird calling you Leland. I just want to call you LP. That's what
Yeah. Hey.
do you normally go by
Honestly.
LP or do you normally go by Leland or?
Well, Leland obviously being my born given name, I go by both. I usually tell people, my name is Leland. I go by LP.
Okay.
But
So it's not going to
if
be a deal if I call you LP.
no, not a big deal at all.
Okay, that's what I'm going to call you then. All right. So Leland and I, LP and I, just met back in May June on a cruise ship, where this gentleman was like the star of the ship, I've got to say. And not only that, but you were like really, really kind to both me and my wife, even just meeting us. You showed a lot of kindness and very cool personality. And I even have a little pin behind me here to show, to commemorate our
Yeah.
little interactions on the ship. That was really cool of you. Um, I want to start off by talking about how you got there in the first place. How did you were one of the happenings cast, and there's 12 of you on
Yeah.
this cruise ship, and it was a Virgin Voyages. Now, if you've never taken a cruise, or for that matter, a Virgin, the happenings cast are the ones who lead all of the events. They're the stars of the show, and they put on a great show and get the party started for everybody, and it's really fun. Like, you guys made that trip a lot of fun. And Sarah and I were just talking the other day about, like, it's really unfortunate that they keep changing the cast, because
Yeah.
part of the appeal of that ship, of that trip, was who the cast was and who we talked to and interact with, and that is actually one of the main factors of us putting down a deposit to do another one, so it's like really unfortunate that we won't see the same people, but obviously I'm sure they're going to be cool people. Now, tell me a little bit about what led you to that and how you even got there in the first place.
All right, so let's just start from the top. Yeah. I've been in entertainment since I was, I guess, like as early as junior high. Like I always loved it, always doing something that involved it. I finally got into it in high school more. Um, but long story short, it was after the pandemic. Somebody who I used to be very close friends with actually told me about Norwegian when they were doing After Midnight, which is a another show, which is a Broadway show, and that was ran for a while, but it was on Norwegian for years, like years before I even knew about it.
Okay.
And my background in dance, being hip hop and street dancing, they were looking for people amongst those. So I went and I auditioned, and at first I was hired as a rehearsal swing. And what a rehearsal swing does is I fly out to wherever the rehearsal studio is for that month, and then after the month I fly home. What had happened was after I already signed the contract, I got bumped up to actually being in the cast.
Oh,
So then
nice.
that set me up to actually, going on Norwegian and being there for I was there for at least, I want to say 5.5, 6 months,
Nice.
doing that show. And I kind of loved it because, it's a paid vacation.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry, yeah, it's like a paid vacation. I'm getting to see the world. I'm traveling, but I'm also doing what I love to do, you know.
That's too cool.
And you can't beat that. So that's what led me there. But another long story short, worked with Norwegian for 3 years.
Oh wow.
I tried to go up as far as doing hosting, and that's another thing I'll talk about in a second. But they told me that I didn't have enough experience when I was already kind of doing stuff along that you know um, field for
After
them.
3 years, that's wild.
Yeah, and whatever they do is whatever they do. It didn't bother me because that's when I auditioned for Virgin, and that's when I was able to be with Virgin. Now with Virgin, that allowed me to tap into what I'm actually trying to get to for my main goal in life, which is to be in a film.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
sometimes we have long hours, and just being in the public eye, all the time. That honestly was like a wake up call in a sense. It kind of humbled me because I'm used to that type of hustle and bustle. I'm from New York, so that is normal. But when it is an everyday thing, and sometimes you're waking up early, you're like, oh wow, it's like a little reality check. But it was a
Sure.
great one, because if I want to go into film, I'm gonna have those hours. I'm gonna have to be in the public eye for a certain amount of times a day.
Yeah.
But yeah, Virgin's atmosphere alone leading me there. Virgin's atmosphere, walking on the ship, I already could tell that it was different. Yeah, I was being greeted by people I didn't even know. I knew that they were something because they had the red boiler suits, but then I realized like, oh, I'm getting to do that. Like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm interacting with all these sailors that are either coming for their first time or their last time, or not last time, or their seventh time, their 20th time.
Sure.
I meet a lot of people that go there, and it's like they're in the double digits.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I think it's just the atmosphere alone that brought me there because the sailors are very nice. Everybody's willing to meet us. They want to meet us.
Yeah.
Um, so I never. It's not that I never had that, but having that, I guess, attention in a sense, for lack of a better term, is nice because they're not just asking us about, oh, where can I go eat? Where can I go to the bathroom? Where's the next? You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
they're actually saying like, hey, so where are you from? What do you do? Like, what's it like being on the ship? And I like that because now I get to converse, and that makes your experience a whole lot better, and it makes my experience better too.
From
So,
the passengers' standpoint, it's like you guys are the celebrities of the ship. It's like it's almost like that whole untouchable feeling. You can't interact with these people because they're the celebrities. They're the famous. Everybody wants to talk to them. But in that case, you guys are super approachable. You guys are like really friendly, and all of you guys were just. I mean, we had so many good experiences. I can't even say enough about it. But that being said, like if you've never done a cruise, Virgin is the way to go. Just it's such a
oh yeah,
stress-free environment. The fact that there's no children, the fact that there's no tipping, like just and then the cast. The cast is just it, it's it's
oh yeah,
it's friends that you've never met and didn't know were your friends. But
right,
in all
right,
reality, like I consider you a friend. You and I became friends through this experience, and it was so cool. Um,
yeah,
what
man.
what did it look like preparing for that trip? Like, because you guys had to learn a lot of choreography, I assume, and you know,
Wow. So for I'll talk about the rehearsal process. Our rehearsal process, we have 2 weeks, and I think within the first week it is kind of cramming, the choreography that we have to learn, but it's not crazy choreography. Like it's nothing that's too complex. I'm sure a lot of people, like there are people that I've heard that say I'm not a strong dancer, but they're killing it because of what they're already bringing to the table. But yeah, we have 2 weeks in rehearsal. First week is really cramming in the choreography and trying to learn. I'm using the term script loosely because we have I'm gonna say we have a guideline,
okay,
a list of A through D, just to make sure that we hit those checkpoints and that we keep it moving. So that way, like say if we were working with another co-host, um, if like say like we're starting bantering and we're talking about something that has nothing to do with the topic of the game or anything like that,
uh,
knowing when to banter with them, but then bring it back and then touch base on another point, key point that we have to do, you know? So it's like we're learning how to do that. So that way, when we are hosting, let's say like the trivias or the different events that are on the ship, you're not looking at us like, oh, they're reading from the script. Like, there's no way that I could say, I don't like ketchup. And that's it written in a script, you know,
Yeah.
like, like if the trivia question is, what is Heinz? Heinz is best known for selling what? And somebody said, like it's along those lines. It's just, learning how to work with that. But then after those 2 weeks, we go to the ship, and then we're shadowing actually the cast that's already on the ship.
Oh, no kidding.
So yeah, so say if it was my first time to cruise life in general,
Hmm.
I think it's amazing that I get to shadow who like the role that I'm in because there's 12 different roles. So me
Right.
being the bounce, I got to shadow not only my character, not character, but my role, but other tracks as well. So like the hype, the glow, the spark. Like I got to follow them as well, depending on which events that I was hosting.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, so getting to watch how the other cast gets to work, and especially for the different events, because we have We Fancy, we have Club Rubik's, we have the famous Starlit Night. Getting to watch how everybody's doing everything, and they're all different. It's not
Yeah.
all the same thing.
Yeah.
Like one person's over here saying something, another person's over here dancing. It's a very good overwhelming sense, because like there is a lot going on,
Sure.
but you're like, this is great because you can never get bored.
Dude, that's so cool. I find it like wild that you only had 2 weeks to prepare because it seems like you guys had a year's worth of choreography. And now I presume that there's a bit of improv worked in there on your guys'
Oh
part.
yeah,
And I'm sure that plays a
yeah,
big,
yeah,
big portion of casting and whatnot. But just the fact
yeah,
that you're
yeah.
able to do what you guys did was phenomenal. And then your interaction, I can't speak enough about your interaction with the sailors. Like even if it was fake, you guys are so good at it. Like
No, so that's the thing too, is that a lot of people think that it's fake because I guess we're getting asked a lot of the same questions. Where are you from? How did you get into this? What are you doing? But uh, it's for me. I'm not faking the connection.
right.
You can't really fake. You can't really fake a connection,
I agree.
because there are times where I am walking on the ship and I'm saying hey, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And somebody's like, hey,
Yeah,
okay, cool. I'm gonna.
I get
You
it.
obviously don't want to be bothered. I'm
Right.
gonna continue on my day. But you find the people, and there are thousands of people, man.
Yeah.
Because you're doing 7 day cruises, even sometimes 5 day cruises, 11 day cruises, and you're spending time with these people that you have thousands and thousands of people that are either going to like you or not like you.
That's so wild.
It's so like, and the thing is that if you focus on the people that don't like you, it's kind of like, well, you're looking at the smaller side of it.
Sure. Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's great, honestly. Had like finding those connections and having them. Actually, I met I forgot, was it wasn't Lewis. I think it was Lewis. Yes, Lewis. I met him while like right before I was about to host an event, and he noticed my water bottle, and on my water bottle I have a lot of anime stickers. I'm a huge anime nerd, and in
Attaboy.
fact, I ha- I have my keychain right here, and it has like some One Piece on it. So like, there we go, just to spit a little bit of that out about me out there. But we had a whole talk, like I think it was like 20 minutes on anime.
That's awesome.
20 minutes on and that right there, even though a lot of people like, you talked about anime for 20 minutes, I gained a friend, and then I gained a friend, dude. Like, I'm talking to him about anime, and every time I saw him, he's talking about another anime, and we're talking about what he did on the ship, and then we're talking about, you know, um, other like things coming down the line. But like, that sits with somebody, you
Oh, for
know,
sure. For sure.
and he actually hit me up the other day saying like, hey, like, I'm looking at your stories. I see that you're finally home. You're with your girlfriend. Dude, I just want to say again, thank you for everything on the ship. And he said, I know that it was work, but you have a friend in me. And I was like, dude, you have a friend in me too. Like, that wasn't fake.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
for sure.
like, I study my craft or the things that I like to make fake connections. I'm making a genuine connection, so that
Absolutely.
way, if I am on another ship, which I am, I'm gonna drop in a little Easter egg. October
Ooh,
31st, I'm going back into rehearsals. There we go.
nice.
But yeah, a lot of those sailors go back on those ships. Like they follow you on, your social media platforms because they want to see you. They're like, oh, you
Yes.
know what? Let's go on a vacation because I want to see him work again. He
Yes.
probably has like new, you know what I mean? Like it's something that really is priceless in this world.
Absolutely.
Making those connections.
Call me gullible, but I instantly felt a connection. Like I thought, okay, this isn't fake. This isn't part of the scripting. This is not like they didn't tell this guy to come and talk to me. They didn't
Yeah,
tell him
yeah,
to have conversation with my wife. Like, and then we kept seeing you, and it was just like excitement, like, oh, there he is again.
yeah.
Hey, I know you. Like,
Yeah, exactly,
built a
exactly, and
friend on the
and that's
ship,
what I
and
love too. I love that, especially on the ship, because a lot of sailors, they'll think that they won't see you again because of the excursions, the itinerary, like what they're doing on the ship. But what you don't realize is that a lot of the things that I have to do as far as like my job entails and where a lot of the action happens is kind of similarly in that same area. So you're always going to run into those sailors that you meet and make connections with. And that's the best part about it too, is that me personally, I love when there are outgoing people at the events that I'm hosting,
sure.
because now like you're giving me something to work with, and I'm not saying that the people that are quiet are anything less. I love them too because who doesn't love their quiet time? But but if I like when I'm hosting and it's kind of quiet, it's like okay, now I'm kind of pulling teeth just a little bit, but if people are giving me something to feed off of while I can still go around,
Oh, absolutely.
it makes everything just go so much better, like it
And
makes your experience better. Yeah,
absolutely. And none of this is to disparage any of your other cast members because, if I could have it my way, I would take another cruise with the exact same people, all of them. All of you guys were just so freaking cool. We were actually, Sarah and I were lucky enough to be invited to the magic show below decks. I don't know if you got to see that, but
yeah.
God, that was so cool, man. I felt by the end of that trip like a superstar. We were ship famous because of, I don't even know if you know the whole baggage thing with our bags. We got on the ship with no luggage because the airline left our luggage back in Denver.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. So like we told that to somebody in line who told somebody else who told somebody else, and pretty soon we're on the ship walking around, and obviously everybody can recognize us because we're in the same clothes. And they're like, "Oh, you're the people who lost their bags." Like, so it was just this whole thing. And then just through sheer conversation, just through saying hi to people like you, because I looked up to what you guys were doing and I thought it was admirable. We were fortunate enough to make friends with you and with, several other cast members and got to experience stuff that other people did not get to, you couldn't even purchase. And I was like,
Yeah,
this
man.
was the best trip ever. I couldn't even. So yeah, by the end of the trip, we were already planning our next voyage.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you about the other side of what you do, and that being the travel portion of it. You got to experience all these new countries and cultures and stuff, and it's not like you guys are stuck and deserted on the ship. You guys get to actually go ashore when you're not working, right?
Oh, 100%. And like, there I can easily say from working with Norwegian to Virgin, with Norwegian, they would always have a set time for when we are allowed to get off and come back onto the ship. Like, so we weren't be able to leave before, let's say, like 11 o'clock on
Okay.
some ports. Yeah, and then we would have to be back at 4:30.
Okay.
Whereas Virgin, we us because I'm still considered crew, so us as crew members, we still have to be back at a certain time. But unless it was like embarkation day, where there is usually a lot of hands on deck, we're able to get off as early as possible. If it's a tender boat, we let the sailors go first.
Sure.
But most of the time, if it's just a dock, we're able to get off as soon as port is open.
That's too
You
cool.
know, for the happenings cast, because of the fact that we still have to host events, we won't have to host an event up until, let's say, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or we're like setting up for that event at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe
Sure.
even 4 o'clock, just because a lot of people are not on the ship; they're out exploring.
Right.
But and then for us, we get to explore as well, and we also do get time off in between our events,
That's
and we
cool.
also have days. We also have days off as well.
Oh,
So
nice.
if I had a day off and we're at port, wonderful. Then I can get off. I can be off all day. I still would have to come back on at a certain time, but I don't have any duties necessarily to do,
Oh, that's
you
great.
know. But honestly, that's what I love about Virgin is that they treat us like humans. You know,
Oh yeah,
they're
dude,
like,
that's
no, yeah,
that's
go
perfect.
off. If you want to have a drink, have a drink. Just don't be stupid. You know, like
Yeah, for
they treat
sure.
us like adults.
That's
You
so
know,
awesome. There's a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
and I
trust in
love
that,
that.
and I think that's
Oh
admirable of
yeah,
any
oh
kind
yeah.
of a company.
Has other people, not myself or my cast, but have other staff like going off the rail? That happens across the board. You know, like you're gonna you're gonna have that issue, and then of course the crew hears about it. But as long as you're doing what you have to do to one, just be on top of your A game, and
Sure.
then two, like continue doing your duties, they're not gonna they don't care. You
Well,
know,
I
like
feel like
they're pretty
that's
laid back.
I feel like that's a little more important for you as the happenings cast because in say the service part of the ship or the cleaning crew part of the ship, if those people, one of them goes off the rails, well, they've got other people who can help fill in. But as the happenings cast, you are the one in that position. There's nobody who's going to just jump up and take over for you for the day or whatever. So
Yeah,
that it takes a lot of trust on their part and a lot of responsibility on your part, and that's admirable. That's really cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, we us as a happenings cast too. If it falls, I guess, in the realms of what we are or what we were scheduled to host, if somebody does get sick,
Mhm.
there's just like there's just a change to our schedule. So like,
Oh, that's cool.
if if I had a 2 hour break, it might now be like 2 half-hour breaks, and like you can't beat that because my half-hour break, I literally can look outside and I'm looking at where were we? Istanbul. I can look at Istanbul, or I can look out and I can see Saint Kitts. You know, like I'm breathing in fresh air and looking at the
Yeah,
nice scenery, and then I go
absolutely.
back to work. Like that's my job. You know,
Well, and
like
you
this is
can't
my job.
have
It doesn't.
sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you. I don't see you guys having monotony because you're never in the same place. Like just looking
Right.
out the
Right.
windows, like you're just saying, it's a different place every day. Like we would go to sleep and wake up in a new place, and it was so cool just to look outside and be like, okay, well, I don't know what to expect when I open these curtains, but let's see
Yeah.
what we have. So
I
cool.
like that, and like it's great too because us being on the ship for 6 months at a time, we are seeing the same place over and over again. But that doesn't bother us. I think it's more because cool, now I can go explore a different part of this
Oh yeah,
place that
yeah,
I've never been. Like I could do the same thing at the same place that I want to if I want to, but I'm here for 6 months. Sure, I could explore this place. I could explore this place. Speaking
sure.
of my next itinerary, I think I'm just in the Caribbean for the whole 6 months. So I can explore one area every time I go for the next 6 months and literally be like, yo, I toured all of St. Kitts. I toured all of Bimini. Like, I could say stuff. I'd be able to say stuff
Oh,
like that.
that's
And
cool.
that's honestly that's why I think this is why I love seeing when my friends audition for cruise lines or when I hear people are going on cruises. I'm like, go, like,
Yeah, for
go
sure.
do it. Like, it's great.
Now,
Yeah.
is your next itinerary with Virgin?
Yes, it is. I'm
Yes, good
gonna be
man.
back as a bounce. Yes, sir.
Nice. What ship are you going on?
I'm gonna be back on the res, back on the resilient. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah.
Bro,
So
we've
it
been
was funny
looking.
too because yeah, so Dulcie the Spark, she's doing big things. She's back on Brilliant right now. Like I saw she was dropping like little teaser trailers of what's coming up, and she was part of the trailer that was in there, and I was like, that's sick. She
That
literally
is.
came from Res, and they're like, hey, we need you, and she's like, all right, cool, and then she was back. That's I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
totally. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
because like they like keeping us in route or routine or what is the word I'm looking for?
Rotation.
Rotation.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah,
That's so
yeah.
cool. Um, Tell me a little bit about the places you experienced with Norwegian. Ho-
mm. uh, the places you said, yeah.
yeah.
Um, so we did we did the Caribbean. So my first contract, it was all the Caribbean, which is kind of full circle because now I'm about to do all of the Caribbean again.
Nice.
My second and third contract though with Virgin, sorry, with Norwegian, I was fortunate enough to go to Iceland and Norway
Nice.
for both times, and those places are beautiful. You know your desktop screensavers
Yeah.
that come up.
Yeah.
It's like looking at that, dude. Like
That's so
and that
wild.
doesn't even do it justice. Yeah,
I
that doesn't even do it justice.
I can't.
It's crazy.
That's funny because the first morning we woke up on our Virgin cruise and we were in Santorini, and I was looking out
Mhm.
the window at sunrise and taking pictures, and I'm like, I'm looking at a screensaver right now. This is not even real. This is wild.
Bro, it's ridiculous. And it's like, am I really looking at this? Because it's like, yeah, sure, I could have deja vu or whatever, but no,
Yeah.
it's real,
Yeah.
And getting to walk these places and see these places up close, it's amazing. So, some of my favorite places, Reykjavik, one of my favorite places,
Really.
yeah, just because there is a lot to do. There's like a strip where there's a lot of bars, there's a lot of places to eat. Um, there's also a food hall, which I think it was called Yum Yum Burger. But it was so good, man, so
Yeah.
good, and they had so many different flavors and stuff. It was great. It was great. That's one of my favorite places. Akyeri is another great place, and I think it was because of where we docked. Where we docked, it was like you're literally walking out, and as soon as you walk out, you're welcomed by. It's like the most, bro. I don't even have words for it. It's just breathtaking the way that you're looking at the town and then you see the mountaintop and then like you see the clouds covering the top of the mountains. Like it's unbelievable, and then all of the colors too. It's like I'm a simp for that. Like that's what the kids say, right? Simp. I'm a simp for stuff like that, man.
Did
Like
you just say that's what the
that
kids say?
that's what the kids say, right? Like, it's breathtaking, dude, and it's crazy because me and my girlfriend, when we experienced it, we would rent a car and we would actually drive out to some of the lookout points. There's this one lookout point, if I'm not mistaken. Where is this lookout point? Um, yeah, no, it was Apiati. It was Apiati, and you drive all through the mountains, all through the mountains. No, I'm lying. Sorry, that's Gettinger. That's a whole different place. But the same thing with Akyedi. It was more of you're looking at a old volcanic site, so you're
Okay.
looking at craters that were made from volcanoes. But in Gettinger, that's another one. That's another beautiful. It's a fjord is what it's
Okay.
called.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a whole lot of mountains and everything. And when you get there, you're literally traveling in between two mountain ranges, and that's dope too because they're covered. Like you're looking around and it's just mountains
That's
everywhere. But
wild.
in Gettinger, they have electric cars, and it's almost like a car that takes you on a tour, right? And your price is based off of how long you want to do it for. So I think me and my girlfriend did it for the, I think it was it was either the 2 hour or the 3 hour. And what it does, it takes you through different scenic routes, all leading all the way up to like one of the highest points. And on a very clear day, you can see everything. You can see where your
That's
ship is. You
cool.
can see where this town is. Yeah, you can see all of that, and it's breathtaking. It's beautiful. I actually put some pictures up on my Facebook from 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, if not 1 year ago, from there. I know I'm rambling, but like
No, no,
it's
no.
just, dude, it's amazing. So like those are the only differences as far as that, because Iceland and Norway, they are colder, significantly
Yeah.
colder than over here, but and in the Mediterranean. But those are just some of the places, and uh, I think while I was on those cruises, I was looking at my friends' stories, and they were on Norwegian. I forgot what ship she was on, but she was in the Mediterranean, like where we
Oh,
just came
nice.
from.
Nice.
Yeah, she was. So I was like, I need to go, I need to go, I need to go, and then boom, here
And
we
then it
are. Like
happened.
yeah.
Speaking
So
of that, on our cruise, what was your favorite port? What was your favorite country or stop?
I'm always gonna say I don't know if we went to it on our itinerary, but I love Rhodes and I love Dubrovnik.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but I think if we went to Santorini, I think we always went to Santorini, but I think Mykonos was probably on ours
Yep.
as well.
Sure was.
So yeah, so Mykonos was great. I finally got to experience the overnight in Mykonos. It was
Hmm.
right before I had left at the end of my contract, and there was this place, there was this Italian store. I forgot where it was because I was with some of the other casts from the other shows.
Okay.
Um, I ate there, and then we went to this club called Split, I think it was called. Uh, and it was great. It was great. We went in there. It's loud. It's like an inside party place. It's right by Pelican, which is one of the restaurants that's like right on the water.
Okay.
After you take the shuttle over. But man, it's great over there. It's just windy as hell.
Oh, tell me about it.
Santorini
So
is,
we did a when we were there, we did a like a private boat trip around to the other islands out front of Mykonos there, and
yeah, yeah,
there's the island of Delos where it's like all these ancient ruins, and then there's like a they took us to a little spot to swim, and holy crap, dude, I have never experienced wind like that. It
wow,
was wild. The boat was just
yeah, man,
it was nuts, but
yeah,
I
man,
think to what you said, Dubrovnik is probably my favorite one that we did on that itinerary too. I mean, it was
oh,
beautiful there. And Sarah and I did a
beautiful,
kayaking tour and went and swimming in this little like cave that was carved
yeah,
in the wall. It was nuts, man. It was just insane and
wow.
beautiful, perfect climate. I was like, this is it. This is what's up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I did a little exploring. Speaking of, I did some exploring with Angie the Hype.
Yeah.
I One of our techs, her name is Carissa, and I was like, guys, you mind if I follow you around? And they are the most chaotic people to follow around if you don't know what you're doing. But like, dude, I loved it. I loved every second of it because if it was me, I would have been sitting at a bar chugging my second glass boot probably. But like, like walking around and I was like seeing a whole bunch of different things. Like I was like, yo, this is great. Like we walked like up in the town, like walking up the stairs. We got close to the wall where Game of Thrones, some of the scenes where Game of Thrones was.
Yep.
The stairs of Shane from Game of Thrones. I don't know much about Game of Thrones, but everybody's
Same.
like, you got to see it. So
Same.
yeah, but it was dope. It was dope to see because like it was like the architecture and like how it was built and just looking at. I think we went into. I don't want to say it wrong. And maybe it was a cathedral or maybe it was just a church, but it was great. Like the second you walk in there, like hearing the sound literally just diminish, and like you don't hear anything, and people are
Yeah.
just walking through, looking at it. It was so peaceful and just like dope looking at, and like I think I have some pictures of that I posted up. But like getting to see all of that and like watching like how people literally respect it. It doesn't matter where you're from; they respect the fact that once you walk in, you have to be quiet.
Yeah, sure.
It was, bro. It was one of the greatest times
Yeah.
there,
Agreed.
honestly.
Agreed.
Also, I went to one of the bars there, and you can do cliff jumping there in
That's
Dubrovnik.
that's
And
wild.
guess what I did? I took myself cliff jumping with some of the cast, and it was great, dude. It was great.
That is wild.
Yeah, and like it was great because I got to see where some people were jumping from, but then I got to explore elsewhere. Like I saw some rocks and I was like looking around, making sure I was like, you know what, I'm gonna jump from there. And I think it was like it had to be at least like a 10-foot jump. It wasn't crazy, but you know what it's like when you
Dude,
jump from something,
even 10 feet is freaking nuts. Like
bro.
so here in New Mexico, we don't have a whole lot of water. We have a couple lakes, but there's one that there's some pretty decent cliffs to jump from. And I'm sitting in the boat one day at this looking up at this cliff, and I'm like, that is just like 10 steps. That's not very high. And then I get up there and I'm like, oh my God, like the adrenaline starts
Yeah,
pumping and
dude.
I'm shaking. I'm like, I don't want to jump. This is crazy.
Bro, it feels like you're falling for eternity, but
For
like,
real.
and especially because you're looking at the water, you're like, but where is it? Because the waves are moving, so
Yes.
you're like, I don't know. But doing it, it was great. And actually, I met some sailors, and when I was talking to them about cliff diving, they had one of those pouches that you could put your phone in,
Yeah.
like the waterproof pouches.
Yeah.
They were like, "We're not using this on this trip." They let me use it for Dubrovnik,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
which was dope as hell. They let me use it for Dubrovnik, and I recorded myself jumping in the water, and accidentally, because like as you're recording, you can take screenshots
Yeah.
or you can take pictures. I took the most dopest picture ever,
Shut
and
up.
that out of my, and I posted that as well, and it was just like the way that I was one struggling for my life, but like the way the picture came out, it was great because you could see one of the islands in the background,
Oh,
dude. It
that's
was
cool.
great, man.
You're gonna have to send that to me
Yeah,
so I can post it up here for people to see.
I got you, man. Yeah, I
That's
can
cool.
send it in a few seconds. Yeah, man.
Okay, so God, I don't even know where to go from here. There's just so much I want to ask you about. Like, okay, I want to know, and you don't have to disclose too much. I'm sure that there's stuff they don't want you talking about. But what can you tell me about what it's like being a crew member on one of these ships, as far as like dining goes, as far as your cabins go, and stuff
Mm,
like that? What is that all
mhm.
like? What you can talk about?
Uh, honestly, I could talk about a fair amount, without giving too much away. So with with what I do on the ship, my perks are a little bit different. For a lack of a better, not even for a lack of a better term, they are a little bit different. So I'm able to I have a single room, but I share a bathroom. So I
Okay.
have my own room, but I share a bathroom. Whereas most of the crew, like your bartenders or your wait staff, they share a room completely where they have a
Oh
bunk
wow.
bed and they share a bathroom. Yeah. So that's my one benefit. As far as dining goes, dining is like half and half. We have to fill out a request, excuse me, to eat in the restaurants,
Okay.
which isn't crazy. It just has to make sense. So if, let's say, if it was like on an overnight from Mykonos,
Mm-hmm.
um, we might have a better chance of getting into, let's say, if it was pink agave, because a lot of the sailors are going to be off the ship eating
Right.
out or staying out, right?
Right.
But if it's a sea day, forget about it. You're not going to get in because everybody's on the ship and it's going
Sure.
to be busy, and you kind of just have to bite that bullet, which is fine because we do have, two other options. We have the galley, which is, they have 24-hour diner options and burgers. And they also have, for the crew, we have our own dining area. The dining area is just a little bit different because there's set times for
Oh,
when
okay.
food is available. But for the galley, if it's not busy, we're allowed to eat.
Oh, that's
You
cool.
know, so yeah, if it's not packed and they're not swamped with orders, you're allowed to eat. You can order what you want, but that's the best thing about it too, is that in some cases, if it is a little bit busy, not too busy to where you can't sit down, but if it's a little bit busy, they have a sushi area where you can just grab a little box,
Yeah, I love
get a
that.
little quick snack, and then go about your way.
Say what you will about the galley, I know there's a lot of sailors we were talking to who, they're like, yeah, it's okay, and I was like, that by far was my favorite. I loved
Oh,
the diversity of what was in the galley,
dude,
and the fact that you could go anytime. That was my favorite. I loved
if
it.
if they only knew, because on Norwegian, the in the, like, let's call it the galley for lack of a better term,
Sure.
they have timed uh they have times throughout the day where you're allowed to eat there. Like, other than that, you have to order room service.
Oh, no kidding.
So if you're for the people that are like, it's okay, I personally feel that you're getting a better deal for your buck. Like, you have
Yeah.
24-hour options there. Like, you might not want eggs, but guess what? You can also get a burger. And if you don't want that, then, like, I mean, you kind of have to, suck that up and like
But
go sleep it off. But
but there's
you're
so many options. Like you're not gonna
so
go
many
up there and
options.
be like, "Oh, there's nothing to eat here," because there's everything to eat there.
Bro, you
Like
have
it's
they have a sandwich spot. They have what is it? They have a taco spot, I think it's called,
yes, they
or
have a salad
yeah,
bar.
they have they have a ramen spot, dude. Like,
Yeah,
that's
that's
crazy to think
wild.
about. You know what I mean? They have a ramen spot. There was one time where I was going up there and I was gonna get some eggs, and I saw one of my friends carrying a big ass bowl of oatmeal, and I was like, "Where did you like where did you
What?
get this?" And I was like, "Where did you get that?" Secondly, just tell me where it is because I want some now. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
sold.
it's awesome. They also have a pastry area,
Yeah.
which is actually right next to the burger spot.
Yep. Yep.
Fresh fruit, which is over there. They have a popsicle stand,
Yep.
dude. What? Like,
There was just
it's
too much. It was by far my favorite. Like,
yeah.
and that's not to disparage any of the restaurants because the restaurants were great. But
Oh
so
yeah.
Sarah and I are. vegetarians, and so
No, okay,
I was like,
nice.
"Fuck, we're gonna be limited as heck to what we can eat." And we got on there, and I was like, "There is so much we can eat. This is so amazing."
Oh
And
yeah.
even like where you guys hold the trivia, that little like bar counter there. There was so much even there we
Mhm.
could eat. They had like vegan hot dogs, and they had. I was like, "This
Yeah,
is the
dude.
best. This is so amazing."
Yeah, dude. The way that they actually go into like, oh well, the dietary restrictions, like it's not just allergies,
Oh, dude, I loved
the
that.
I'm the fact that also Test Kitchen, they have a whole vegan menu,
Yes, we did it. It was amazing.
yeah,
I
Razzle Dazzle, they have a whole vegan
I
menu,
was
like that's great.
we were both super impressed with the crew. The first thing they ask you is, "Do you have any allergies?" And then like we were having a meal at Pinkagave, and we were looking at the menus, and that there was specific desserts that were marked vegan, and there was other ones
Yeah.
that looked like they could be vegan but didn't have the vegan V next to them. We're like, so Sarah asks, she's like, "What makes this one vegan but this one not?" The waiter knew. I was like, "What? This is crazy." The waiter was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's because of this ingredient in it." And we're like, "Oh my God, this is the best place ever."
Yeah, they go so far in detail. They'll be like, "Oh, it's because of the oil that it was cooked in, or it's because
Exactly.
of the stove that it was cooked on." I'm like, "Yo, that's
I
crazy." That
appreciated that so much.
yeah,
It was nothing
yeah,
like being home. Like, and especially where we live here in New Mexico, and New Mexico is a very, very old place. And,
yeah,
because of that, they are traditionally very old in their cooking and their everything. And so, you go to a lot of places and you're like, "Do you have a vegan option or a vegetarian option?" And they don't even know what that means. As a matter of fact,
right,
I
right.
used to build police cars, and we had a guy who would come in and sell burritos every morning. And, for the first 2 years I worked there, I wasn't vegetarian or anything. And I made the switch one morning, and he came in. He's like, "Oh, I got burritos. I have, ham and cheese. I have this and that, and cool." And I was like, "Do you have anything that's vegetarian, no meat?" And he like, it was like I asked him what the quadratic equations were, and he drew a blank, and he's like, "What do you mean no meat?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I have one that has just a little bit of chicken." And I'm like, "No, no, no, no meat at all." And he's like, "Well, this other one is good, and it's got eggs and beans." And I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds great, and a little bit of ham." I'm like, "No." He just couldn't. I said, "No, you know what? Never mind. We're good, bro." Like I couldn't get him to.
Yeah,
But the fact that Virgin is so catering to everybody, like I was
yeah,
super impressed with that too. I can't say enough good things about it. It
yeah,
I
man.
I'm desperately looking forward to our next cruise. I wish we could just live on that ship.
Yeah, exactly. So wait, so where's your next cruise? Like, where are you guys
We
gonna
haven't
be?
planned it out. So through our crazy ship fame, we met. Oh, well, you saw us, our little group of friends, our friends group that we made there on the ship.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we all kind
yeah.
of stuck together. So at the end of the cruise, we're all still in communication to this day. And we're talking about, all of us have uh, put down what do you call it, a deposit for another cruise. So we're all kind of discussing if there's something that we all have in common to take it all again together. But if not,
I think you guys should try to go on the Resilient Lady. I don't know, sometime from November to April.
that sounds really good. I just
Not I don't I,
okay,
I
I'm
mean
gonna look into that.
I might be there. I might be there. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, we're definitely gonna look into that for sure, for sure. Um, I wanted to ask you about the I guess uh, family orientation. Maybe that's not the right word. The family like that you made through the other cast members. How close did you guys all get?
Mm,
Because it seemed like you guys were best of friends.
dude, I don't have words to give to just how amazing they are. Like each and every one of them. Like we walked in and we couldn't believe how caring and how willing everybody was to help.
Sure.
Um, the vibes, just the laughs, like how we looked out for each other, like how we held each other accountable.
That's
There
great.
were several times. There were several times where our um, install directors were saying like, guys, we don't know what it is, but it's something about this cast. Like we love this cast, and like working with several different casts, like it's like almost like when you work with a Broadway show, when you have different casts, you're like, this is a great cast, this is a great cast, this is a
Sure.
great cast. They kept on saying that to the point where it was like, I think they actually mean it, and even sailors were saying like, the ones that were 20 something cruises in there, like I don't know what it is, but something about this cast is just amazing. And
It
you're
was.
gonna have some people that come on and they either get like either a bad week because of some itineraries, or they didn't necessarily like the round of trivia that they had, so they don't
Sure.
like the happenings cast. But that's two people out of the thousands of people that
Sure.
have been saying like, we love this cast, we don't know what it is, we love this cast. And then I think we got spoiled also with our 2 week voyage, our 2 week crossover going into the Mediterranean. That crowd of sailors was just phenomenal. Every crowd of sailors is phenomenal, but sailors were coming on bearing gifts. They were coming on knowing our names already. They were coming on knowing some of the cast that were like years ago. Like they were like, oh yeah, this
That's
person was on
wild.
my first cruise ever. They were on my third cruise. I was like, bro, what is like? I'm like,
That's
that's
wild.
amazing, like, and just getting, it the cast, they uh, dude,
I
I can cry over
no,
how
I
like
hear you.
I
I
feel about them.
I
Like,
saw like
they
I saw a bond that went beyond friendship. And you could just see
yeah,
it like you
yeah.
guys I know that none of you went into that knowing each other prior to that, but it seemed like you guys had either been friends for years and years or you were related to each other because it absolutely looked like that.
Oh, so out of my cast, we had the diva, the artist, the balancer, the foodie, the gamer, the glow, and the flare. We had them all know each other.
Oh, no
If I
kidding.
think I'm missing somebody. So like a good majority of them already knew each other from jump. It was only me, Anzi, uh, Dulcie, and Devin, the hostess. We were all new to the game. Everybody else has already been there. And the
The
charmer. So
charmer.
those eight, yeah. So those eight, they all knew each other prior,
That's wild.
which is like, yes, but they still welcomed us in and helped us when we needed help. It wasn't
That's
like,
too
oh,
cool.
figure it out. Like they were like, oh, like if you know, they were like, hey, like I've done this script so many times. If you drop a line, I know exactly where you're gonna be.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm like, dude, thank you. Like
That's so cool.
even in the rehearsals, they were like, is there anything that you need from me? Like, do you need me to give you a cue line for anything? And then even still, when it comes time to actually running this on the ship, there are some times where you learn something, but you haven't ran it on the ship. Like you haven't actually hosted that event. So you'll have, there was one time I was working with Sabrina the gamer, and I was like, "Hey, this is my first time running this." She goes, "Don't worry, I got you."
That's
And
cool.
like literally there was one time where I forgot what I was supposed to say, and she goes, "Why don't we go check out our teams?" Yeah, and I already knew exactly where we were supposed to be. I was like, "Perfect." I was like that right there. But like they looked out for us and they helped us grow, And I just that
well,
whole this whole cast,
well,
they're great. They were great.
you and the you and the diva for Scarlet Knight was so impressive. How you electrified the crowd to use a lesser term. Like you guys just got everybody so crunk and just you're just standing there talking and everybody's just amped up and shit around us. It was amazing. I was like,
uh,
that is a skill right there. That's so cool.
and I only take that I take that because the diva, she puts so much energy into all of us, just being herself. She always is checking in on us. She was the rock for our happiness family,
That's awesome.
honestly. And getting up there, there were a lot of times where she would say something like under her breath, like, "Oh, my hair's in my face." Like I would hear her say that, but like you would look and she's smiling, still going on, and I'm like, I love that. You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome.
Like stuff like that, because like those little moments is like nobody can hear us. We're up here, like that's
Yeah.
something that sits with us. But after that, even like in moments where there were times where I would stutter or I would blank out. Like she would just look at me and be like, "You got this," and I'm like, "I got this,"
That's cool.
like that. It's amazing.
So
It's amazing.
there's a few moments that stand out in our trip, and I wanted to touch on those real quick. But one of them was your Club Rubik's little red Corvette. I could not stop laughing, dude. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. I saw you holding that, and I was like, "Oh
uh,
my god, I know what that is." That was too funny, dude.
bro, I
And then
love it.
there was a so we're living in a sim, obviously, because so through our ship fame because of our baggage debacle, and that got worked out. Long story short, I'll just give you the highlights. But when we got to Santorini, obviously we weren't happy because we didn't have any clothes to change into. And I've got to say this about everybody on that ship. Not only were the waiters super impressive and you guys super impressive, but we got to our room and the housekeeping lady in charge of our area, she was like, I noticed that we brought only one bag to your room and it was empty, like it was light. And the bag that we had was a carry on that was we brought to put souvenirs in to
Wow.
take back home. So, that's all we
Hmm.
had. And she's like, is that like, did you do that on purpose? And so we explained to her what happened. The airline left our baggage behind. They said they were going to get it to the ship. They didn't. So now we're on this trip without anything. And she's
Wow.
like, okay, here's what's going to happen. You're going to go in there. I'm going to go get you some Rockstar robes. You're going to take your clothes off. We're going to wash them for you. And she just like took charge of the situation and she like did her damnedest to make us like as comfortable as possible. She got us some toiletries and just over the
Yeah,
top. She
man.
didn't have to do any of that. She could have just been
Right.
like, damn, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. And that would have
Yeah.
been perfectly acceptable. It's not her responsibility. But but the whole crew just went so far above and beyond. Like I literally teared up after that. I was like, this is insane. These people don't know us, and they're just like
Yeah.
taking so much responsibility for something they didn't do, and it was just
Hmm.
an overwhelming feeling. And I can't say enough about how amazing that was. But so we were talking to some friends that we made over breakfast one morning, and
Hmm.
I had the night before I had told my our cabin neighbors that the whole story, and they're like, "That's wild." So they went and told some other couple at dinner that they met about it. So Sarah and I were talking to our new friends over breakfast, and we were telling them about where we're from. And I don't know if you've ever heard about the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, but
Yeah.
world's biggest gathering of balloons, and that happens right outside our front door. We like I could send you some
Wow.
pictures. It's wild, but so we were telling them if you're ever going to come to New Mexico and visit it, you got to come in October so you can see that. It's just something that you'll never experience anywhere else. And
Mm.
as these two people are walking behind us, as Sarah says the words "balloon fiesta," and they stop and they look at us and they're like, "Are you guys the ones from Albuquerque who lost your baggage?" And we're like, "What the
Jesus.
fuck?" And Sarah's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "We're from Albuquerque too," and like, "No freaking way." They're from our
Jesus.
city, like on the other side of the world, on the same cruise ship, walking by at that very moment that Sarah's talking about it. It was just like
That's
I was like, "This is a sim.
crazy.
This is an absolute sim. There's no way that's possible."
Yeah.
But to that note, we did sit down to one of the trivia's. We did a lot of trivia. That was so much fun. We sat down to one of them, and there was this older couple, like significantly older, and they were like, "Hey, do you guys want to be a team?" We're like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So we sat with them, and the guy was just they were both doctors, and like I would say probably in their 60s, 70s, just older doctors.
Wow.
The guy was just so uptight and grumpy, and he's like, "This is like our 40th something cruise, and this is the worst one I've ever been on." And I'm like, "What? If this is the worst, I would love to see what the best
Jesus.
was." But I was like, "So
Yeah.
what about this isn't good for you?" And he's like, "Oh, the food and the shows are crap and this and that." Bro, I was so impressed with the shows that like I geeked out over the cast when it we saw them at Couture, has that how you say it? Couture, Montenegro.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Couture.
Okay, so we were getting in line to get on the bus to get back to the ship, and the Lola's Library. Did you see that show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
the one Viking looking dude, that big old beast
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, he did some shit with that strap hanging from the ceiling with his one arm that I was like, oh my god, that guy could snap me in half. That dude
Yeah,
is a
yeah, yeah.
beast. So I saw him
Yeah,
and I
his
was
name is
like,
His name is Alan. Yeah, Alan is a
Alan.
beast.
I was like, bro, you are amazing in that show. I was like, the shit you did with that with your one arm is like insane. I just wanted to compliment you. And he's like, oh, thanks. But dude, I had never seen something like that before. I was just blown away at the level of talent that they hired for these shows. And not to mention the singers were phenomenal. Like
Oh
the
yeah.
comedians were hilarious. I did not experience a bad show. I had so much fun at all of them. Like I thought everything was top notch and the best quality. Now, to be fair, I've never been on another cruise, nor do I ever intend on being on another cruise because they've won me
Nice.
for life. So, but
Yeah, that's
I
what I
was
like to
just
hear.
very like disappointed in how nitpicky this guy was being. And so after the show, because he even throughout the trivia, he was kind of making snarky comments, and it was the charmer. What's his name?
Trenton.
Trenton. That's what I was going to say, Tristan, but Trenton. Yeah, he was making snarky comments. So afterwards, we got up and I just started chit chatting with Trenton, and I was like, Sarah was like, I'm so sorry about those people. We were not with them. We didn't know them. Like, I'm so sorry about that. And he's
Mm.
like, no, that's cool. And that's what we didn't know at the time was that was what got us invited to the magic show.
There you
But
go.
so yeah, it's just weird how everything works and how some people perceive this cruise that's just like the best thing on the planet as a negative versus other cruise lines, which I've heard so many horror stories about. And I'm like, tell me your worst experience on a Virgin ship, and they're like, oh, they ran out of fucking sushi. I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty bad.
So yeah.
It's wild.
Exactly.
Excuse me. Okay,
Yeah,
so
like I don't hear a lot of people say bad things, which is
no, no,
good.
listen, I'm part of a couple of Facebook groups who are just about Virgin Cruises, and even that, like,
Hmm.
there was one that was pretty legitimate, and many people, unfortunately, it was in the Caribbean, but many people in that chat were like,
Hmm.
I was on that same cruise, and it was bad, and it was just for a variety of reasons, and it totally wasn't Virgin's fault, but it also wasn't completely the sailor's fault. It was kind of a mix of it. Just seemed like it was a very
Yeah.
unfortunate situation, but I would never let that stray me away from taking one of those cruises. Like it's there's
Right. Right.
the pros
Yeah.
by far outweigh the cons. Okay,
Exactly.
that is far enough talking about the cruise. Like I could geek out about it all day, but we got other stuff to talk about. I want to real quick touch on you're a very ambitious young man. You're a beast, bro. I gotta say, like your dancing skills and just your commitment to fitness and real quick, it just made me think of something. I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place. I wanted to ask you about your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Did you take her on cruises with you? Is she allowed to go on a cruise? Like if you guys purchase the cruise, or how does that work?
So, so my girlfriend is she's actually on Broadway. She
Shut the
made it to
fuck
Broadway.
up,
Yeah, dude.
bro.
I know. I told you. I was like, I know, like my girlfriend got something special, but yeah, she made it to Broadway. She's an alternate on Six, and she debuted. She debuted. I think she opened for all of the queens that she is swinging for,
Bro.
which is great. But yes, so during the time that I was on the ship, she was doing a national tour, the Tina Turner national tour.
Bro,
Yeah,
that's
so
fire.
and for the Tina Turner national tour, she was an ICAT understudy Tina Turner. And she got to go on as Tina Turner a few times, which, like, I got to hear about. I obviously couldn't see,
Damn.
but during that, long story short, me and my girlfriend, we actually this is a conference room of the apartment building that I'm in. We just got this apartment
Nice.
around almost about a year ago. So I think it was October 15th we moved in. But then shortly after, I got the contract for this. I got hired for Virgin. Um, so both of us, coming from Norwegian, coming into a new apartment, getting everything together, kind of emptied out our pockets a little bit. So when I got Virgin and when she got the tour, we still had to pay rent.
Of course.
And I was getting paid just a little bit more than her. So I was being the good boyfriend that I am and taking care of just, paying the rent, the utilities, making sure that everything was just taken care of.
Good.
So unfortunately, even with the discount that I could have gotten for her, and
It
with
just wasn't
everything that
feasible.
lined up, yeah, it wasn't gonna work. However, this time around, because I'm in the Caribbean, I'm not as far away, and I'll be able to, save up that money. I'm actually trying to do a little treat for her and her mom, and like just that her family and my family as well, just to see if they want to come on a cruise,
That's
while I'm
amazing.
there, because this might be my last cruise contract for a while. So
Well,
yeah,
okay, and that's a good transitioning point. I was saying you're a very ambitious young man, and you have aspirations of, like you said, being in the movies. And tell me about
yeah.
what that looks like, because as far as I can see, like on your social medias, you're a fucking beast in the gym, and I see you're over there like training people and shit. Which, by the way, man, I need to hit you up because I'm getting older and I need to get into the gym. I tried it one time, it wasn't for me, but I only joking. I need to actually start exercising, and it's very inspirational seeing what you do. So, um,
Thanks, man.
on that note, like, what is your path to movies look like?
So it actually started on my last contract with Norwegian, where I started taking classes with 541 Productions, and they have ties to Marvel Studios and Tyler Perry Studios, and
Oh, cool.
and I decided to take that path because it's I've always wanted to be in film. That's been my main goal, but I'm literally like, how are we having this, podcast, but face to face? Like, I'm talking to these people, through FaceTime, through Zoom meetings.
Sure.
It's not, nothing about it screams scam. So I was doing that, and it was going really well. And I was actually, what they do is, depending on what package you chose, but the package that I chose was, I have classes that I have to attend. They take care of my headshots.
Oh, wow.
They help me choose a monologue that's good for me. They shoot my monologue, like they shoot my reel for me,
Wow.
and then they hold a showcase at a Regal cinema, and they have a whole bunch of agents and agencies that come into they showcase everybody's reel,
Wow.
and then we go and mingle, and it's about who's going to either talk to us and be like, hey, we want to sign you, or who's going to be like, hey, not right now. It's like
Sure.
going mingling and everything. But they're legit because they post their clients who actually get signed to different agents and agencies. What they do as far as outside of that, I have no idea. I haven't seen anything else. I've seen some where one guy got a commercial, but these people are getting signed,
Nice.
and I'm like, okay, great, that's perfect for me. With what I said about the apartment and how me and my girlfriend just moved in, I had to put a hiatus to that, so I can, take care of what actually matters.
Sure.
One, keeping a roof over my head, and then two, keeping my girlfriend. So that was,
Pretty important.
you know what I mean. So, but what I'm gonna do, what is happening now, is that once I get back on the ship and once I get into the realm of getting my monthly pay from Virgin, is that now me and my girlfriend can split the rent evenly. I can just pay out everything in a lump sum, finish my classes, get my headshot, get my reel, and then by the time I'm done in April with the Virgin contract, I have maybe 2 3 months before I have to fly out for the headshot to shoot the reel, and the showcase.
Nice.
So yeah, I have a whole plan for it.
Dude,
So
I
yeah,
love that. And like I said, I'm gonna tell all my friends I know a celebrity. I know a movie star. It's gonna
yeah,
happen for you.
man.
It's
Thanks,
listen, man.
bro.
We live in a sim, and that being said, it's there's no way it's not gonna happen for you. You've worked way too hard for it, and you've got the chops and you've got the skill for it. So I don't see anything stopping you, which is
No, I
super cool.
appreciate it.
And not to brag, but I've been in a movie already.
Dang, bro,
I'm
for
only just
real?
kidding. No, well, I did
Oh, bro.
no, no, no. I did. I was a feature in a Jack Whitehall is
It sounds familiar. I'm not gonna say
Jungle Book
yeah,
or
but
Jungle Cruise. He's the brother.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
and then Shailene Woodley. You know who she is.
The last name sounds familiar.
Yeah, you'd know her if you saw her.
Right.
what are those movies? The movie Four. Uh, damn, I can't.
Four,
Yeah, it's like dystopian times and end of the world kind of thing. What is? God, I can't remember those. Anyway, she.
four. I would have to look it up, but
Please
yeah,
do.
I got you. Yeah.
So anyway, they made a movie called Robots. I think it was 2021, and
Okay.
not to be confused with the cartoon robots. It was
No,
Robots,
yeah.
a movie comedy, and it was filmed here in New Mexico. Our movie economy has blown up. We have four or five different studios here now in Albuquerque, and like
Nice.
we have movies all the time. So, um, I'm you wouldn't believe it looking at me, but I'm a part of a mariachi group, and so my mariachi director said, "Hey, you want to be in a movie?" They called us for a feature role, and I can't make it today, and the other guy doesn't want to do it. Do you want to do it? And I was like, absolutely, I want to do it. So I went, and
Sick.
yeah, we played in the movie. We actually played our instruments in the movie, and we're like right up front playing for Jack Whitehall and Shailene Woodley at their table, and they were amazing
That's
people.
sick.
Both of them were just super cool.
Bro, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it was
Hell
fun,
yeah, bro.
and
That's awesome.
I would love to keep doing that. I just it's not realistic for me. I got a job. I got bills. I got to take Virgin
I
Cruises.
feel
I don't
that.
have time for that shit.
Yeah, man.
But
But yeah, that's the end goal. Like, so like that's dope though. Like you actually got to be on set. Like you got to be there and do like,
it was fun. It was a different
I've done,
experience.
yeah, dude, like I've done a short film once, and I had a feature part in it, but
Cool.
when I watched it back, I was watching how I was like very animated, like in a sense to where like my theater background was still like there, not like the film etiquette, which I finally like got the hang of over the years. But like it still did very well through a film festival one. I think it won 11 different festivals,
Wow.
which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's called The Blood in Our Veins. The Spanish translation I'm not gonna try just because I'm not gonna butcher it. But I think it's La Sangre en las Venas.
It
That's the
sounds
best
right.
that's the best I can give you. But but that was the one time where I was like, I like how I look on screen, especially like during the candid shots.
Dude,
You know,
you're preaching to the
um,
choir. I've got to say though,
dude.
ours was a little kind of messed up because they sent us an email the night before and they're like, you need to show up to set with no makeup on, you need to show up with your hair not done because we're going to do all that stuff for you. We're like, okay, cool.
Mm,
So we get there in the morning, we're sitting at the table waiting for him to call us to do makeup and hair, and all of a sudden somebody walks up and they're like, all right, we're ready to shoot your scene. And we're like, bro, look at my hair, what do you mean you're ready to shoot my scene? So I kind of just had to brush
yeah.
through my hair real quick, do the best I could, and then we get on set and the guy is telling us, the director, he's like, okay, you guys just stone faced, you're just a performing group standing next to the table, you're looking straight ahead like you're performing for everybody and not looking at the actors, not looking at the camera, you're just focused ahead of straight
Hmm.
ahead. And we're like, cool. So my guitar player, he's a very animated guy, and yeah, they start shooting, and this dude's over there jamming out, and he's looking at the camera, and he's looking all over the place, and I'm just standing there like I'm frozen in fear, and like that translated on the camera. My guitar player did it right, and he looked really good on camera, and I looked like I'm just frozen in fear, but it wasn't that. I was just following directions. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. It was kind of a mess in the long run, but it is cool that like I can tell my relatives or friends, hey, check this movie out. Here's the time code. I'm right in the face of the camera,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
standing right next to Jack Whitehall, and it's really cool.
I love that. Yeah, my younger brother, he used to do a lot of that because he was doing a lot of not background work.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say he was doing a lot of back, and my cousin does did a lot of background work as well. And my cousin's cousin, crazy, I know, but my cousin's cousin, he is a stunt double for Marvel. In
Oh
fact, he was
wow.
I think he was the main stunt double for Black Panther.
Holy shit.
Um, yeah, so hearing that, I'm like, okay, so like, what am I doing? Then I'm doing something wrong. Like, I need to hurry up and
No,
get
no, no,
there,
no. You're just not there yet. That's
But
okay. You'll get
yeah,
there.
and it's fine. But I did, I used to actually, I was doing audience work for the Karamo show. I don't know if you know about the Karamo show.
Uh-uh.
I think it's today's Calmer Maury. or Jerry
Okay.
Springer in a
Okay.
sense, or even Steve Wilkos. But honestly, all of those. The funny thing is, Steve Wilkos, Maury, Jerry, and the Karamo Show. All four of those shows were filmed in the same studio.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so like when I was there, I was like, I know this setup. I know this setup. Why do I
Yeah,
know
this
this
is
setup? And then,
historic.
yeah, you know what I mean. And then I'm like, oh shit, like, excuse me, but I'm like, yo,
Nah,
I'm sitting like in the same studio that Maury was filmed, that Jerry was
dude,
filmed, and I'm
that's so
like,
cool.
studio is so much smaller in person though, bro. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy, you know? Yeah,
It looks
it's crazy.
huge.
But it looks so big, but like I'm in there and I'm like, nah, bro. It's kind of smaller. But yeah, they were putting out backstage backstage calls for people to sit in the audience, and you would get paid. I think it was two. I think you get paid $200 for 2 days of filming.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was pretty sick. It was pretty sick, and uh, I got a little screen time because my friends are like sending me the reels that are like on Instagram and TikTok. They're like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like,
That's too cool.
"Yeah." They're like, "No," but it's so funny too because they're like, "Why?" It's like, What made you?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'm getting a check." They're like,
That's
"Oh,
right.
okay, never mind."
Money.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
And the funny thing is, like, you'll see that they're like, "Oh, okay, never mind. I get it. It makes sense." Yeah. But but the thing is, there are people. What I found out is that um they do have people that go there to sit in the audience. But what happens in between takes of the show is that well, for this one, Karamo will come to the audience and he'll take pictures with some of the audience
Oh, that's
members.
cool.
They'll do that in the very beginning. Like they have, let's say, like um, a stage assistant or a stage advisor or whoever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
They come out and they're like, all right, guys, this is what's gonna go down. A, B, and C. We're doing this. So they're like, just to get you guys hyped up and ready, we're gonna start dancing. And he starts playing music, and people are up and they're dancing. He brings people to the front, start dancing.
That's
Cha Cha
cool.
Slide gets played. Electric Slide gets played. Yeah, like bro, honestly, it's a good time, and people get up there, they start dancing. They start dancing. Sometimes it's people's birthdays.
Oh, that's cool.
Sometimes people are there celebrating. Like it's a great time.
That
It's a
sounds like
great
a lot of
time.
fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I made the rookie mistake of wearing a light colored shirt um, in a place where you have dancing and you're asking me to dance. Of course, I'm gonna get up and dance. When I tell you that my pits, like the sweat,
Yeah.
it was ridiculous. So like during the break, after that happened, I just sat with my arms like to my side for like the whole first part because we had a break. We had like an hour lunch. I just sat there with my arms down to the side. I was like,
Bro, that's
I
too
need some
funny.
paper towels. I need yeah, dude. And then after that, I only went in short sleeve shirts because I was like, if you're gonna have me dance,
Sure.
I can't. I can't. Yeah, I can't look
That's too
nice.
funny.
So
All
yeah,
right.
man.
Well, you have been incredibly generous with your time, and I love talking to you. And, someday I hope to do this again. Sarah and I
Yeah,
have never
man.
been to New York, but now we know somebody there. We might make a trip out there, go visit you,
Hell
and,
yeah.
and see what the big city holds.
Yeah,
And
get some tickets for six. You can meet me and my
that would
girlfriend.
be amazing. And
Yeah,
if you're ever out southwest, you're welcome to come and visit us here in New Mexico. We'll show you a great time too here.
I got you. Of course, thank you.
Cool,
I
cool.
appreciate that.
Well, thank you again for taking the time and telling us all about the Virgin trip. And anybody out there, if you're ever going to take a cruise, like just treat yourself and do Virgin. Just don't even bother even looking into any of the other ones. Just do it.
Yeah,
You're not
Virgin is
gonna
definitely
regret
the way to
it.
go.
All
I
right, before we
definitely
get out of
will.
here, I want you to shout out all your socials where everybody can find your stuff and follow you and your girlfriend for that matter.
Word, word. So Leland Cockerl-Patrick, that is the full name. I know it's crazy name. Don't try to think about it
You have
heavy.
two
That's
first
why this is like
names.
bro, I have my whole name is a bunch of first names. My
Perfect.
whole like I'll put it out there for y'all just so you guys can have a laugh. My first name is Leland. My middle name is Eugene, and my last name is hyphenated. My last name is my mom's maiden name and my actual name is Cockerl-Patrick. So it is Leland Eugene Cockerl-Patrick. Give me a second. Some things are starting to float. I just gotta,
Yeah, nice.
stupid. But yeah. So Leland Cockerl-Patrick. My Facebook is Leland Cockerl-Patrick. My Instagram and my TikTok is LP Triple Threat 28. And those are the socials that I have. Guys,
Perfect.
please follow. I'm a kickbox instructor. I teach a lot of that. You'll see me post stupid memes. I
Love
make a
it.
lot of content.
Not to
Yeah,
mention
guys.
all of the incredible sights that you see on your trips. So, like, if you want to live
Oh
vicariously and
yeah,
don't want to leave your house, if you're an introvert, follow this man. Then you can live vicariously through him because it's good stuff. I've looked at it myself, so I can vouch for that.
yeah. Thanks. And speaking of, just an egg drop. I'm going to be starting a vlog. I'm going to be starting a vlog at the end of October. Reason why the end of October? Because my birthday is near the end of October. So
Okay,
kind of doing that as like a way to bring in the year.
perfect. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
for one thing, wish I know your girlfriend doesn't know me and we don't know her, but wish her congratulations on her Broadway success because that's amazing.
Yes,
Um,
Ayana Smash. Ayana Smash. You can follow her on Instagram. She is, yes, like I said, currently on six. She is a phenomenal singer, and a beautiful, beautiful spirit, which is why I call her my sunflower. But
love
another
it.
story for another time.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us. And Lilian, again, thank you so much for doing this. And I look forward to future conversations with you. And I wish you all the success in the world because you deserve it.
James, thank you so much for everything. It was a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me, and thank you for being the first ever podcast that I got to
Yes,
do. All right,
bragging rights. I'm holding on to that one.
hell yeah, do it, bro. Do it.
All right, bro. We'll see you again. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care.
Bye
Of
bye.
course. Bye bye.